Omid Scobie said Harry and Meghan were traveling at 80 miles per hour. Let's see. At 80 miles per hour, you travel 120 feet per second. The average north-south NYC block is 264 feet long. If they were traveling at 80 miles per hour for even 5 seconds, they would have covered roughly 2 blocks. It takes a Cadillac Escalade 12 seconds to reach 80 miles per hour, so they would have needed at least 600 feet to reach that speed, and another 100 feet to come to a stop. The depth of the deceit is breathtaking. Omid would have been authorized to say this by them. He could have said that they felt trapped in the gridlock traffic, sitting ducks. People would have believed that. But no one is going to believe that at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, there were 5 city blocks without any traffic at all. The speed limit in New York City is 25 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour on FDR Drive. Besides, unless they're on 95 coming into DC, in this case the traffic stops. I have literally read a book, A Woman of Substance, while driving on 495, the mixing bowl in DC. For that matter, I put my SUV in park and climbed over 2 rows of seats to get a box of tissues from the cargo area of my SUV, while on 540 exits to Glenwood and downtown Raleigh before. Got back in my driver's seat and no movement in the traffic. These people do not understand the difference in traffic and what 80 miles per hour truly is in different scenarios. 80 miles per hour on I-40 in the early morning or late evening, no problem. 80 miles per hour downtown streets or during rush hours ain't happening. Streets in cities are literally made to prevent you from going more than 25 or 35 and some places 45 miles per hour. 80 miles per hour on a racetrack with professional drivers and cars made to handle tight turns, constant braking, accelerating, no problem. They also don't get physics. An SUV vehicle will flip at 80 miles per hour taking turns and changing streets unless it's been modified. I spent a weekend there 3 months ago, 80 miles per hour, and they would have killed someone within 1 to 2 blocks. People step in front of traffic the moment the light changes, and there are massive crowds of traffic. We saw a Broadway show and made it back to our hotel at 12 a.m., and there were still masses of people in the streets. I am giving the benefit of the doubt until I see Scobie's interview, but if this was said, it can't possibly be true. They should have said they felt trapped in gridlocked traffic, though if they had stayed in their blacked-out SUVs, no one would have seen them. This feeling of being trapped would have been more sympathetic than exaggerating it into a car chase, but they so wanted that Diana connection. When Diana died, the car was running at between 90 and 120, say 105 miles per hour. The speed limit was 30 miles per hour. The ratio is 105 divided by 30 equals 3.5. Omid says their car traveled at 80, the speed limit of 25, a ratio of 3.2. I think this is not a mistake. This is Harry trying to convince everyone that the car chase thing was Diana 2.0. Also, the more I think, the more I believe he pushed for a dramatic statement to force his family to react in retaliation for the silence he experienced from Buckingham Palace when his mother died. They'll react all right, just not how he was hoping. He can never be allowed to set foot in the UK again. If his driver gets into even the most minor traffic scrape or car park bingle, he'll run straight to the world's media with claims of an attempt on his life. The British royal family isn't going to give him an opportunity to threaten their brand like that now that he's shown the depths of what he's capable of. One expert commented, Omid's clearly not familiar with New York City. You literally can't go that fast in Midtown unless the streets have been cordoned off for a movie shoot. These are the most transparently false lies these con artists have ever come up with. Anyone who is familiar with our great city knows that they are making a mountain out of a molehill. The cops were even featured on the news tonight saying that this was all over nothing. Are we going to believe the police or the Harkles and their lackeys? We have police everywhere in New York City. We have cameras everywhere, on each block and on every corner. And we have people walking around everywhere, but nobody saw any of the things that scabies and the Sussex Smollets have said took place. Nobody. There isn't one eyewitness to corroborate their bullshit. I was actually in that part of town on Tuesday night myself, and there was absolutely nothing going on that seemed out of the ordinary. It was a lovely evening, too. They just better start realizing that this is one story that isn't going to hold up. The more that they insist that this actually happened, the more idiotic they're going to look. They need to figure out how to retract what they've already said too, because someone will eventually show footage of what occurred, or what never occurred. And the Harkle Smollets are going to be eating crow sooner rather than later. Just as a point of information for you guys, I am a former Manhattanite who has driven around and in Manhattan for 40 plus years. Manhattan is bounded on the east side by the FDR Drive. On the west side, you got the West Side Highway. Both roads are heavily traveled at all hours of the day and night and are often backed up. The FDR is a 40-mile-per-hour limit and the West Side Highway is now 30. Both roadways are narrow lanes, have serious potholes, and have construction. There's just no possible way any car could get anywhere near 80 miles per hour, even on a clear and open road. They're single-lane roads, really, trying to be double lanes. You cannot do it. It's physically impossible. One of the most ridiculous aspects of all this is them jumping out of a dark-tinted car driven by a professional driver into the cab of an unknown person with no window tint and no NDA. I feel like Meghan was so high on her own supply that she impulsively demanded it so there could be these images. This is such a bad move. It could only have been on impulse. The net effect is to put her award into the trash can immediately and have their version of everything denounced by everyone except that weird Chris Sanchez security guard who was matching her dress with his tie and is literally on her payroll. That pic of her smug face in the car tells me she was drinking in all that narc fuel that she imagined was going to be coming her way, when her face was splashed across the front pages of the world's newspapers much in the same way as was Diana's during her last tragic car journey. In reality, it has backfired on them both spectacularly, and it merely highlights their ultra stupidity. It's mind-boggling that they didn't envision that their crazy tale of a catastrophic car chase would, without doubt, be questioned and fact-checked by NYC authorities, the media, and basically anyone who has even a passing knowledge of the lies they've told and their never-ending PR stunts. Even more unbelievable is that their own staff, including their PR management, couldn't see how this was going to go down, unless she didn't tell anyone of their plan, not even Harry, except perhaps Doria and her special security guard, who seemed to be way overacting when he got out of the cab. Noticeably, his gold tie matched her dress, and he was very hands-on with her while shepherding her in and out of cars and venues. I think she's moved on from the Little Mermaid movie to The Bodyguard. Those ugly feet of hers have tripped her up every which way with this latest stunt. What do you think of Omid Scobie's ignorant claims? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this newsletter, and we'll see you in the next videos. Bye-bye now.